Hello, Jacob.
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Hello, Jan.
Doing great. Come on in. Welcome to Modern Tone.
What do we got going on here?
We're a full-on recording studio, production house, music academy, and artist development hub. This part of the studio is usually used for the lesson side and the pre-production side of things, and the other side, which we'll visit next, is more the production and recording environment. How about if we check out the piano room?
Let's do that.
Let's do it. So we've got this beautiful P22 piano. All the rooms that we're going to visit are all wired for recording, both in and out. So you can see the tie lines on the wall. 8 in and outs. You can route loudspeakers in there, the guitar cabinets, whatever it is you need. So all these rooms can be used for the recording side of things if we wanted to. And you can hear they all sound really nice. They're fairly soundproofed and really nicely acoustically treated. This is where we do lessons, pre-production. We do some songwriting here, obviously piano, harmony, composition, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah. This whole place used to be a dog grooming place for about 30 years. And when I found it, I got to build it up from the ground up. So I got to make all these decisions, run mogamis through the wall, and yeah, it's been great.
And did you build all these absorbers?
Every single one.
Every single one.
Every single one. Every now and then I kind of mess around with the fabric and change the coloring a little bit just because I get bored. But yeah, I built them in the first year. Had some friends help out. We've got a ton of them, as you'll see. Well, they sound awesome. They've been great.
All right, let's carry on.
Yeah. This is a typical lesson room that, again, I've used as ISO if we need extra amps or things like that in the past. So always cool guitars everywhere that you can use, cool keyboards, ton of sheet music, and I've got this huge collection of music books and sheet music and solos and tabs and fake books and real books and all that good stuff. There's always some speakers so you can play music in the room, always a tube amp. And again, these rooms sound really, really nice. The door is open so you can hear a little bit of bleeding, but for the most part, these rooms sound great and we operate them all day long.
So these are rooms that people are teaching students in of Modern Tone.
Yes.
And you work with quite a number of teachers, right?
Yeah, I've got 12 employees on staff at the moment. They're all professional session musicians. So usually in the morning they'll come in and do sessions in the studio, either as musicians or engineers or whatnot, take a lunch break and then teach in the afternoon. So I'm able to book them for the entire day. And there's a lot of crossover between the recording and production side and the lesson side. So we work a lot with empowering people to make records, right? So some people show up more advanced and we kind of help them get to the level that they need to make a record. A lot of people start with songwriting lessons for a few months, develop material, and then move on to pre-production. A bunch of bands and artists that come through the door for the recording side of things sometimes need a little bit of help or just some fresh ideas or things like that. So we sign them up for a few, let's call them coaching sessions with our instructors so they can get, some cool guitar solo ideas or get some vocal support or help with harmonies or things like that. So both sides kind of feed each other a lot.
All right, so we have...
Yeah, and this room is kind of like the mirror image of that other one. Again, a little bit of a different tube amp, some different guitars, but for the most part, you kind of get the same experience with both. And just like these other rooms, you get the XLRs in and out, the guitar speaker, the Q mix, and we can also get a digital mixer in there. During COVID, this was great because we were able to isolate the rooms and record all of them without people having to be in the same room, which in retrospect sounds kind of depressing, but it worked for the time. How about if we check out the recording and production side? Let's go into the studio.
Let's head on over there.
Let's do it. So we can start with this. I'll show you the hallway in a sec. We can start with this little ISO that we have. So we've got some guitar overflow. So these are guitars that we don't use on a daily basis, but every now and then kind of need them, like a Nash tuning guitar, a 12-string, or a nylon acoustic, or things of that nature. There's a Marshall 412 in this ISO cab, all mic'd up. We've got 4 mics in there, all phase aligned. They're out directly to the preamp, so at any given moment we can just get a guitar head from the control room and just blast it here and then isolate another amp on top of it, which is really fun. Also, when I'm working with the band in that room, we can have the vocalist or the guitarist, whoever's not working at that moment, work on some parts here while we're tracking something else, which is really cool. We also use it for lessons every now and then. Like, it's a fun room to be in. We've got some Some more amps here. This Bogner is really cool. We got a Jazz Chorus 40, which is really awesome. Yeah, some.
So it's interesting. So this would be counted as part of the studio, but the other three rehearsal or lesson rooms can be repurposed for ISO rooms for the studio.
Yes, absolutely. Even though we use them for lessons for the most part, at any given moment, and we put it to the test every week, we can use them as extra ISOs if we need it. Like if we need to isolate like a horn section, or we need to isolate another amp or something like that, it's all wired and ready to go. We can always move lessons around it. So if we have a recording session, we'll just block it out on the calendar, use those rooms for whatever it is we need, and then resume lessons in the evening or the next day or whatever we need.
Great.
Yep.
All right, let's back up here. Follow you in.
Yeah, please do. So this is our main live room. We've got the drum kit over there, which is usually plugged in, just kind of with basic set of 8 mics, just so we can have something to start. We're really big on having everything kind of plugged in, not because we want to make the same record all the time, just because we hate setup. Right? Like once if there's a band or an artist in the room, we want to get tones as quickly as possible, right? So you don't always have to use the same overheads, you don't always have to use the same mics on the toms, but you have something to start with, right? And especially in pre-production, and you're working on music, it's so important just to be able to get through it. And they're all wired into like outboard, everything's ready to go. Like it takes 3 minutes to get a drum tone, which is really fun. But then at the same time, if you have more time, you can always just, tear it down and do whatever it is you want here. That's super cool as well. A bunch of stands. We got this Behringer Q system. All of our Phantom is in the rooms. So if you pan a little bit to the right, you can see our Phantom boxes over there. We try to not use Phantom through the walls. This ends up being cleaner, and we can also patch in real time, which is really fun. We also run an analog cue, just in case. If you want to bypass the mixers and just have an analog 2 mix, you can do that as well. Yeah, there's also a line of sight into the control room, so you can have a full band kind of spread across the 2 rooms, like vocalist or acoustic guitar behind the engineer, and then the rest of the band in here. All the amps are in the ISO, and you've got a full band recording with everything isolated.
Now in here we have a combination of homemade absorbers, but I also see some GIK stuff.
Yeah, let me get the door so we can get the full effect of the sound here. Yeah, there's a lot of GIK stuff. I'm a huge fan of theirs. We've got both the GIK 242s. We've got some 244s. They're really cool, the gray ones. And then behind you, there's also some bass traps, the triangle ones, which I think are fantastic. I love the GAK stuff. They're great. Yeah, but I also have these diffusers. These diffusers are handmade by this guy out in, I believe, Livermore. I forgot the name of the company, but I've used him for a bunch of projects. I designed some home studios for folks, and he's great. So these were custom made for the studio, and I'm thinking at some point I may make the whole wall a diffuser wall. I haven't made up my mind yet. One thing about owning a studio is that nothing is like if you come in next week, things are going to look a lot different. We keep changing things up and trying stuff up. And yeah, it's fun.
Well, let's go check out the control room.
Please. There's also a bunch of stuff out in the hallway if you want to check it out.
Yeah, you got a few drums out here.
Yeah, we got that Ludwig kit, which is really cool. We've got a bunch of snares at the bottom. Yeah, we got some more guitar pedals, some hand percussion, some video stuff, accessories, more drums, and a bunch of really nice snare drums, some cymbals. We've got tons of drum heads and drum dampeners and different ways to make drums sound different. Some records that we made here. Always fun to have those on the wall, right?
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, check out the control room. Welcome.
Wow. Nice.
Thank you. I like it.
That diffuser, that's got a story, right?
Yeah, it's been in the Bay Area for a few decades. It is a John Storick designed diffuser that I got from our friend Elad, who's now at Airship. He used to have a studio, his company Swell used to have a studio in the city in San Francisco, and they closed down during COVID, or I guess relocated to Richmond. Mm-hmm. And I bought that from him. I was there the day he closed down, loaded it up on a pickup truck, and it's been here ever since. And he bought it from another studio in the Bay, which I forget the name of, but it's been in the Bay Area for a few decades, so that's kind of cool. We've got some really cool pre's. I'm a huge fan of Cappy out of Nashville. I pretty much have every preamp they've ever made, which are super cool. So pre's, for the most part, are on the desk. It makes it really easy to dial in sounds and make sure that you got everything. This set of pre's specifically goes into that ISO room that I showed you. And you can get a list of kind of the mics that are already kind of normaled into it. We got this SPL monitor controller, which is really cool. It sounds excellent. We use it to route different monitors and stuff like that. Some more Cappies. We got these Worm Audio Neve clones, which are really cool. We've had them for a while. They're really nice. And that Trident we use for overheads. That Trident pre is really cool. Then we got another set of pre's right here. And these pre's are actually normaled to the EQs. So we got kind of this Neve clone channel strip right here. This is like this is an R&D into the purple audio. We've got those Lolas going into the Tridents, and then another set of Cappies. These are the Cappy VP28s in their version of the API EQ.
Right, these?
Yeah, which are fantastic. So basically the top is normal to the bottom. So you can, kind of like a console, you can just like punch in the EQs. And then you got EQs in. If you don't want EQs.
And then compressors down below.
Yeah, compressors are not normal. Compressor you have to patch in. But we've got this pair of these are the Rev F 1176s. These are pretty incredible. The 543s. These are Rupert Neve designs. Wonderful, wonderful compressors. DBX 560As. They're cool. And then these are the Cappy ones. Again, I can't talk enough about how much I love the Cappy stuff. They're kind of like this dirty API kind of compressor. Really, really cool.
Distressor.
Yeah, you've seen one of those before?
Yeah. Yeah, a few times. 76D from Audioscape.
Yeah, and the Opto from Audioscape. Can't say enough good things about Audioscape. I love their stuff. They are incredible. Like I keep buying more and more of their stuff. I plan on getting a couple of the Blue Stripes from them. Yeah, I absolutely love it. And then we also have the Worm Audio LA2A, which is nice. I will say its main issue is that it's not the Audioscape. But it sounds good. We use it for vocals a lot, for bass. It's really cool. And then the Blackline Audio 17, their version of 1176, really cool. I really like the sidechain high pass filter that they have. Very super useful. These are old, I believe, late 90s DBXs. I use them for kick and snare. Can't beat them. They're just so good. This is an old Drummer PA unit that I've used live before. Whenever I need just extra compression, those are kind of nice. Sometimes they go on room mics if I'm looking for a kind of weird, like early 2000s kind of aesthetic. I don't know. Every now and then it's just the right thing, you know. We've got some guitar pedals here, if it's okay for me to pull them out. So we're going through this EXTC unit, so you can patch them in. So if you want to get some distortion on a mic or an octave or just like weird delay, we use it a lot for experimentation. It's just like really cool way to get some cool sounds in the studio when you have some time to experiment. Guitars, vocals, drums, like you can sidechain the drums into something like that, and it just sounds really, really cool. Like run a snare through an octave unit, or run a kick drum through an overdrive. It just sounds really nice. And then we've got our patch bays underneath it. We use these Redco 96 tiny telephone ones. Can't say enough good things about Redco Audio. Redco Audio, man, they're amazing. Then we got a couple of guitar amps. We've got a few. We haven't talked about monitors. You want to go through those as well?
Sure, let's talk monitors.
We've got this Genelec 2.1 system with their, I forgot the name of it, but they have this, the GLM system that lets you do some room correction. So we have a couple of custom profiles that we created, and they sound killer. Like you can get more low end, for like a client kind of mix, or you can get a more flat kind of thing for mixing. Really, really love them. Next to those are these kind of, I don't know if you've seen these exotic speakers before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, those.
Very rare.
I mean, always fun to have a pair of NS10s. We run them through a Bryson 3B.
Yeah.
Very classic. I mean, Yeah, they let you get the mid range right.
And if I'm correct, the NS10M Studio, which these are slightly different than the regular NS10. I believe the crossover is different. I do also believe the tweeter might be different. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, they don't need the toilet paper.
That's right.
Yeah, the tweeter is just not as abrasive.
Not all NS10s are created equal.
No, but they're shitty enough. Like they're crappy enough to expose any issues with your mix.
Let's talk about some of what we got going on here. First of all, tell us about this guitar here.
Yeah, it's an oil can guitar made in Georgia, I believe, by a company called Bohemian. I caught wind of them about a decade ago, contributed to GoFundMe, and then a few months later, this showed up. Wow. It has some P90s in it. It's really cool. We use it as a slide guitar. Whenever we need to do some slides, that's what we use. This is our resident pedal board. So all of these pedals that kind of shift around go through this brain unit, the GEC, and you can create these patches on the fly, which is really cool.
Variety of pedals there.
Yeah, a bunch of pedals, some accessories over there, and then a bunch more pedals, because you can never have enough guitar pedals. But seriously though, like sometimes you're putting together a guitar tone and you just need something else, And then these specific pedals are go into the heads. So each kind of group of pedals go into different heads in the effects loop. So I'm a big fan of recording reverbs and delays and stuff like that from the actual amps. So that's how we do that. And I can give you a quick tour of these if you're interested.
Of these amps?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you?
For sure.
This Marshall is a
vintage modern. It was a limited series that they ran in the 2000s. It's kind of like the best of both worlds between kind of a Plexi and a modern JCM. Really unique sound. KD88s, the tubes, very kind of unique set of tubes. And they just have like this different Marshall sound that is not exactly vintage and not exactly modern, kind of like this in between, which is really cool. This is a 90s 5150 metal beast. It's incredible. Surprisingly, in really beautiful clean channel. You wouldn't expect that from like a Eddie Van Halen kind of amp, but it's just beautiful. This is a 1966, I want to say, Bandmaster. It's a silver face, but it has the original black face circuitry. There was 1 year, 66 or 67, where they did that. So it's a little bit cheaper, but you get the nicer look, or what I consider the nicer look, and the best sound. This is another 60s Silvertone. This is a Sears catalog amp. Very kind of indie rock, think like Jack White, Black Keys kind of deal. It can get very grungy, and we're running it through an attenuator, so we can really kind of crank it up to 11.
Is that the attenuator?
Yeah, and then track it in like a reasonable volume. You've got the JCMs up here, the twins. That's a JCM 900 from the late 90s.
And a JCM 800.
800 in 1986, I want to say.
Okay.
Which is really cool. And then we got Spider-Man.
Oh.
Super important there.
Hello, Spider-Man.
Exactly. That's an orange Rocker 15, kind of like a smaller take of the Rocker Verb. Without the clean channel, but it's killer for leads. And then this is a 90s Rev G dual rectifier. Kind of a staple of the Bay Area.
Yeah, Mesa Boogie, Bay Area company.
Yeah, Bay Area company, and it's just like a killer amp, man. Like we absolutely love them.
Running some Apollos.
Yeah, we're running 3 Apollos. We've got our 8P at the top, running through a 16, and then an older 8 that is modded by Blackline Audio. And then at the bottom, there's the Ampeg system selector. That's the guy that lets us run all of these heads into the cabinets in the ISO room. So at any point in time, you can choose any amp that goes into any cabinet. So you can route all these heads while they're working. It sends load into the amp, so you can switch in real time. And when you're running a guitar session, you need to run multiple heads and kind of go between different sounds. It makes it super easy.
Isn't that kind of a rare unit?
A little bit. It was never a commercial release. It's something that they did for mom and pop shops to kind of showcase the Ampeg amps. It was never released for the public. No. I got it used on Reverb years ago. The Sans amp that you can't really do without. This is the RBI, which is the rack unit, which is really cool.
Oh, and you have an RNC, a really nice compressor.
It's literally a really nice compressor. Yeah, I had one. I had one growing up when I was like 17, and I just I love it. And this is an old, this is a DI with an old UTC transformer, kind of like a Motown DI.
Mm-hmm.
It was handmade by this dude that I found on Reverb, and it just sounds killer.
Panning to the other side of the room.
Yeah, we've got some guitars. There's always a bunch of guitars ready to go.
You want to name them off there?
I mean, for sure. This is a 50s Harmony. It's a 59, I believe. It's kind of like a jazz guitar with a Gibson pickup in it. That's my Taylor acoustic. Always works. This is a jazz bass, a 62 reissue. This is a really cool one. This is a Gretsch baritone. Anything from like metal to country. It just rocks. I love it. This is an old 60s airline bass. Think of like, has a wonky sound, a little bit like Beatle-esque.
Okay.
52 reissue Telly. This is a 57 Strat. This is my first Les Paul ever that, as you can see, has been around. I made, like, it was almost brand new when I got it in 99, and I beat the shit out of it. And this is an old early 80s Les Paul that I've had for a long, long time and really, really like it. We've got some extra monitors in here. There's a Yamaha HS7s there that we pull up every now and then. There's a KRK V2s in there, which are really cool. So obviously cables, headphones, all the stuff that you might need. And then a ton of DIs, like a bass DI, JDIs, reamp boxes, cloud lifters, all these kind of cool little accessories that you might need. The SGI system is really cool. It basically lets you run a guitar signal through a mic line.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have the guitars be in literally any room in the studio and run that through the mic lines into the amp. Super handy. You want to check out the mic locker?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Gaff tape, because you can't live without that. We've got some dynamics up here, so a bunch of SM7s, because you have to have them. Matt Boudreau's personal favorite. We've got a couple of RE20s.
Oh, my favorite.
I know. And because of your recommendation, I also got one of these guys for the RE20s, and it just works really, really well. We've got some stereo bars in here and a bunch of like fun little weird mics, like this telephone mic, which is really fun, right, to make all these weird sounds. I'm sure you've seen one of these before.
Never seen it ever.
And then this is an even more rare one.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Have you ever used these one of these Placid Audio on the copper phone?
Yeah. Really
fun on a bunch of stuff. So, kind of mics like that. Below here, we've got some more condensers and such. So we have this FET 47 by United, which is the best recreation I've heard of FET 47. It's a beautiful mic. Kick out, bass amps, really, really killer. We've got some 414s. I got a TLM 103, the Neumann. I've got a U87 right here. Always fun, like one of these sets. Took me a while to find a U87 AI that I liked. This one is one of my favorites. It's a Circuit 6, if that makes sense. There's an audible difference between the way they do the FET there. Actually, this one is kind of cool. This is an old mic for, I believe, the 1940s. This is a ribbon mic. The label is Philco, but it was actually made by Electro Voice. It's the V2. It was re-ribboned about 20 years ago, but it's beautiful. I use it for upright bass and a bunch of other stuff. It's a really, really beautiful mic. I got a Peluso 251. Can't say enough good things about Peluso. Actually, I would say, not only is the mic incredible, but their customer service is unbelievable. We had an issue with the mic, so we use it a lot. We had an issue with the mic a few months ago. We emailed Peluso. They got back to us after an hour, and the next day the problem was solved.
You can't have too much good customer service.
You really can't.
And when you have it, it's such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Really, I guess in this day and age, it really makes the company stand out.
It really does. And I was bracing myself for an ordeal, and it could not have been simpler and easier. I had a similar experience with Vintech. I was able to fry one of their pre's. I'm not sure what I did there, but I called them up. They picked, a dude picked up. I sent it over. The following week it was back, and it cost me less than $100. And it was just incredible. Can't say enough good things about those guys. Let's put all this stuff back.
Nice and quiet in here, folks.
Yeah.
And
yeah, some of these absorbers I did not build. Some of these I actually bought. But yeah.
There we are.
There we are. Love working here. It's a really fun environment. Oh, we have some keyboards as well. I don't know if that's kind of interesting or not.
You've really managed to cram in a very creative and not cluttered way a lot of stuff into it's a good sized control room, but it's not the biggest control room, yet it just seems like everything is nicely organized and ready to go. I love it.
Yeah, it just feels really nice to work in here. We also have a big curtain between the two sides of the studio. So if you're working on a very, emotional vocal and you don't want to see a bunch of folks, have fun out there, we just close it out and there's hardly any sound coming from there and there's no natural light of any kind and you're just in your cocoon. All of these lights are adjustable as well, so you can create any vibe that you want. And I feel like, music production and audio is a game of inches, right? Like we all have the same plugins, we all have the same microphones, we all have the same stuff. So it's really a game of inches in being able to get the person in the right space, in the right headspace to do what it is that they want, whether it's a band or an artist or anyone, or even an engineer just working here. And when everything is plugged in and you know that everything is ready to go and it's just like a click away, it makes your job so much easier. And it leaves you a lot of mental capacity to focus on the music and the art that you're doing. So that was kind of the whole thing. And as for the size, California rents are crazy, man.
Yes, they are.
California is a really expensive state, and being able to be efficient without, like you said, without sacrificing the experience, lets us be fair with our clients. If we had a space that was 3 times this size, we would have to charge our clients 3 times as much. But if we can give them the same sound for a third of the price, I feel like everybody wins.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Jacob.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's good to be back here. I haven't been here in a while, so hope everybody enjoyed that.